always thought I was in control of the game, until I discovered that all of our maps had vanished into thin air. 37 What we always do. You made all this for us. The dining table is laden with food. The plates set and chairs set. Mac and cheese. Sandwiches. Tea and coffee. Fruit salad and pancakes. Tu m'as agent extraordinaire, Madeleine Nobel. Heartfelt thanks for your unfailing patience, enthusiasm. I smile brightly. We deserve a little appreciation for coming all this way. Don't we? Alpha Hugo and his beta. Jonathan exchange a look before the alpha smiles at me. You're right, milady. Then pulls out a chair for me. But you must join us. I hold back a relieved sigh at his compliance. Why not? I smile and I sit down. I glance around the table. Everyone. Should we start? Ethan sits down across me. Tyler seats himself as well. Alpha Brennan and his companion, Warrior Isaac, also join us. The lunch goes smooth as butter until someone decides to be smart. Where's Alpha Luke? Alpha Hugo asks. Thank universe I planned this beforehand. With a sigh, I lean back in my chair. A glass of juice held in my hand as though it's wine. Luke and I. My eyes flicker to Ethan. For a moment we had an argument. He was being difficult for no reason. Alpha Hugo keeps looking at me for a moment, then at Ethan before saying, I see. The Curacol. HES probably thinking our team coordination isn't strong. Well, it's not exactly a lie, but when both of us want to win so badly, we can put our differences aside. After lunch, Ethan accompanies me back to my room. Awkward silence stretches between us until we reach the door of my room. Elise. My hand stops at the handle. I turn to look at Ethan again. HES staring straight at me, a determined gleam in his eyes. Just so you know. Without breaking the eye contact, takes my hand in his, giving it a gentle squeeze. I think you did the right thing. You stood up for yourself against all those higher ranks. He cups the side of my face and I blush like an idiot. Ethan's features soften in a smile, his eyes clear as the sky. I admire you, he says softly. Heart touching. Tu m'as agent extraordinaire, Madeleine Nobel. Heartfelt thanks for your unfailing patience, enthusiasm. I jump away from Ethan, face burning from embarrassment. Luke's unimpressed, slightly pissed face enters my vision. Achias standing with his hands behind his back, towering over Ethan by a good few inches, looking like some military general staring at a bug under his shoe. But I'm afraid you will have to put a leash on your feelings. To my agent extraordinaire, Madeleine Nobel. Heartfelt thanks for your unfailing patience, enthusiasm. He says coldly, I have something to discuss with my partner. Ethan works his jaw hard. His eyes narrowed at Luke very well. But when he turns to me, he leans forward and presses a kiss to my cheek, leaving me frozen with surprise. I will see you in the evening, he says before turning around and leaving. I blink, trying to piece together what just happened when Luke steers me away to his room, his face oddly taut. He slams the door shut once we're inside, snapping me out of my thoughts. Did you find a map? Getting my bearings together? No. Luke growls slowly, and I don't think we will. My brows knit together. Why? Luke holds my gaze, his own reflecting a hint of discontent. Everyone's maps are missing. My eyes widen. Panic swirls in my head like a rough tide, or at least it appears to be that way. Luke says I checked every inch of all of their SS rooms. What are we going to do? Horrified, what we always do. He tells me find a way out. How though? I ask what if whoever took it has already gotten rid of them, burned them, ripped them to shed. Luke drags a hand down his face, rubbing his jaw and thinking. Silence falls around us as both of us rake our heads. Can you make a copy? You've looked at it 1,000 times. I can only make out our path, not the traps. Luke says with the new map we had, it was already hard enough to avoid them. I worry my bottom lip. We need help. To my agent extraordinaire, Madeleine Nobel. Heartfelt thanks for your unfailing patience, enthusiasm. I level Luke with a steely glance. We need to form an alliance. Somehow get someone to help us. Luke crosses his arms. Why would they? Everyone is about to be shoved down the same hole. I say they won't have a choice. Who do you suggest? Luke says Parks and his beta. To my agent extraordinaire, Madeleine Nilben. Heartfelt thanks for your unfailing patience, enthusiasm. I nod blatantly. Ethan will help. I know he would. Because of you. I give Luke an applauded glance. Excuse me. I see the way he looks at you. To my agent extraordinaire, Madeleine Nilben. Heartfelt thanks for your unfailing patience, enthusiasm. Luke says, a muscle in his cheek twitches. Hell. He makes a great show of it. For a moment I consider hitting him on the head for being so idiotic. To my agent extraordinaire, Madeleine Nilben. Heartfelt thanks for your unfailing patience, enthusiasm. Maybe Ethan likes me, but I'm dead sure he considers the hunt more important. I keep my eyes on Luke, trying and failing to piece together why he is so irritated about it. With a sigh I walk over to him. Unthinking, my hand reaches up to rest against his cheek. What is wrong? My brows furrowed. So Ethan likes me. Why does it matter? And you? Luke asks, do you like him? I told you. She is my friend. Dropping my hand from his face, Luke catches my hand in his own. Searching my face, that's all. I can't help the laugh that escapes me while taking in his worried look. As if I'm about to proclaim my undying love for someone I barely know. Yes, that's all. Chuckling, Luke doesn't find it mildly amusing. He stares straight at me. I hold his gaze, patiently waiting for him to confirm that I'm not about to elope into Eth and Nessa waiting arms. Luke's shoulders relax. He lets go of my hand only to hold my face in both of his. His forehead falls against my own, making me stare at him, wide-eyed. Luke takes a deep breath. Good. For some reason, my heart flutters in my chest, my skin tingling. I like it. I like how his hands feel on my face, how his scent is enveloping me, how I can see every angle of his face clearly. Something tugs at my heart. I desire to be closer still. Then Luke straightens, letting go of me. Let's go make some deals. We don't have our nap either, Tyler says, eyes wide in shock. Luke and I are currently in Ethan's room, telling them to check if they have their maps since we can't find ours. Oh goddess. I pretend to be horror struck. That confirms it. Luke says we've been ambushed. By whom? Ethan says this is neutral territory. All the more chance to get us to lower our guard. Luke says we need to report this. Ethan says. Luke raises his eyebrow at him. What proof do we have that someone stole our maps? By complaining we will only be pointing fingers at the Alpha Supreme's hospitality. I can't see how that ends well. I might know what to do. Tyler says. Surprising us all, Stone was telling me about shifting our weapons and some things to the top floor of the main castle building. Some things regarding the hunt from the Alpha Supreme's main office. It might have this year's hunt map, I say, or it might not. Luke pops my bubble of optimism, but it's our best bet. Just then, the door knocks and a maid comes in. She offers a small bow before saying, the party is about to start. We request all of you to come to the main castle building. She turns to focus her eyes on me. Come with me. Ms. Atwood, we need to get you ready. I look down at my attire. I am ready. This should be enough. Right. Nonsense. To my agent extraordinaire, Madeleine Nilben. Heartfelt thanks for your unfailing patience, enthusiasm. She takes my arms and starts pulling me forward. Come along. An arm warps around my waist and tugs me back, making her hands fall off me. I will be at her room to pick her up. Luke says, his voice mildly threatening. How long until you're done? The maid swallows thickly. Not long. Only a few hours, 30 minutes. 30 minutes. The maid squeaks out. Her green eyes the size of the moon. Is that a problem? Luke growls lowly. No. The maid shudders, then turns to look at me in a whole new light. Come along. To my agent extraordinaire, Madeleine Nilben. Heartfelt thanks for your unfailing patience, enthusiasm. She hurries out of the door. I look at Luke, trying to hold back my smile as I give him an unimpressed glance. You really want me to look hideous, don't you? Luke leans down so only I can hear him. We don't know what might be going on. Keep your guard up, Miss Atwood. The maid peeks and again hurry. Please. Coming. Unwrapping Luke's arm from around me and hurriedly follow her. Jenny, as the maid told me her name, helped me get ready in record time, and just as 30 minutes were over, a very familiar bossy elf entered my room, ready to beat someone into pulp. I'm alive. Getting up from in front of the dresser, you can stop glaring. This is what my neutral face looks like. I can't help but laugh a little. Since when did Luke become funny? I have no idea. Maybe it's just the fact that I have nothing better to laugh about and my nerves are skyrocketing. I thought this was middle everything. Raising eyebrow at my dress, Ginny said, be more comfortable in this. I soothe the non-existent creases on the pale gold dress I'm wearing. I walk over to him, surprisingly well balanced in my heels. Luke is dressed simply in a plain white shirt, dark jeans and a jacket. I wonder why they had us dressed in modern cloth, and the fact that I look hot doesn't bother either. I give him a bright smile. You're certainly easy on the eyes. I expect Luke to offer me his arm, but instead he wraps an arm around my waist and starts walking a little too much. What now? Trying to ignore how my heart beats faster due to our proximity. How do we reach the top floor? Tyler is up to that. Luke says H is going to check if there's anything useful there. And if there is, we deck in the staircase and I feel my eyes widen. Then we take back what's been taken from us. Clary was right when she said there's a party here. The ballroom in front of me has been converted into some kind of club. Lights flashing, music pulsing, the smell of alcohol already thick in the air. I feel Luke tense beside me. Stay close. I open my mouth to tell him to stop being such an old man and let me have some fun when I see Ethan walking over to us. Anything new? Luke asks him. I notice how his hold on me tightens. Jealously alert. Ethan notices it as well, but says nothing about it. There are guards at the floor entrance. Couldn't he have taken them out? Luke's eyes narrow. 5 armed men against one who can't even access his wolf. Ethan gives him a hard look. By all means. Winters, you can go and try. Luke's eyes flicker to me for a bare second. I take his arm off my waist. There are better things to do than keeping an eye on me. You go ahead. I say I can handle myself. Luke looks around the club-like ballroom, determination embedded in his voice when he says, I'm not leaving you here. You can't be thinking of taking her up there, Ethan says. Luke narrows his eyes, glaring daggers at him as he takes a step forward, but I act before he could start a brawl. Of their own volition. My feet hold themselves up on their toes. My hands wrap around Luke's arm and my lips fall on his cheek. I can handle a party, I say in his ear, over the blasting music, and you can handle 5 armed men. Let's not die by not doing what we do best. I let go of him, grinning at his surprised face, and then promptly make my way through the crowd. Time to have some fun. I reach the DJ and manage to get a word in his ear. He grins at me, his teeth bright against his taut skin before he puts on my song. Ethan barely catches up to me. Come on. I grab his arm and drag him to the dance floor. You really want to dance right now? A surprised laugh follows. You can't expect me to face certain doom without having a little fun. I laugh. And the fact that your partner is on his way to get beaten up doesn't bother you. I huff. Luke is probably going to do all the beating there. You think so? Ethan raises an eyebrow. I shake my head and grin. I know so. For a short while, we stay on the dance floor, but then the stupid heels start hurting my feet. Ethan and I walk over to the food tables and I slump down in a chair, taking off my heels. I look at the entrance, eyebrows furrowed. What's taking so long? Ethan says what was thinking. Maybe we should check. Getting to my bare feet. You stay here. Ethan says he'll go and see. But stay put. And H is gone. I stomp my foot on the marble floor before I promptly sit back down in my chair. Yeah. Just leave me here to be eaten up by worry. I look up to see Clary. Hey, I smile at her. What's up? Nothing much. Clary shrugs. Want to hang out with us? I raise my eyebrow as if on cue. 3 other girls come there. One of them, a girl with a blonde pixie cut, smiles at me warmly. You must be Elise. She says Clary told us about you. We're going over to the poolside. Wanna join us? There's a pool. I stare at them wide-eyed. Clary grins. I'll take that as yes. 38 in the end. Luke. I see her disappear in the crowd. My skin still tingling where she touched it. As much as I trust Hazel, I don't trust anyone else with her. But she's right. We need to act fast lest we lose our only chance. With a deep breath, I turn my gaze to Parks, making sure to put every bit of authority in my soul in that look. Considering the irritated gleam in his eyes, I suppose it's working. Keep your eyes on her. My voice hard even to my own ears, and I'll be keeping mine on you. Are you so sure I need to be watched? Winters. He crosses his arms. I'm not the untamed one here. A growl claws at my throat to let it out. I can almost feel my fingers elignating. The beast hasn't had a dose of wolfsbane in a long while, and it's eager to break through the chains of restraint. You shouldn't even be allowed on this hunt. Park says, scorn obvious in his tone, let alone with Elise as your companion. My hands are itching to close around something. You're the biggest threat to her. Unbident. My hand reaches out to grab him by the shirt front. I relish the flicker of unadulterated fear that crosses his face. Even if for a second. So you know what I might become? I say lowly. My voice rough around the edges like a jagged knife. What I am capable of doing. Still you're standing here, spewing out crap. I must say, Parks. You're a bigger idiot than I gave you credit for. I let go of him. He staggers back. Instantly, he straightens himself, loathing clear on his face. Stay in your limits, pup. I look down at him. The next time I have to remind you wouldn't be so painless. I turn around, willing the beast to recede. I need to get it together. We need to escape this place before any more incidents decide to happen. I need to get Hazel out of here. My fingers turn back to normal. Reason takes over instinct as I go farther away from the noise in the ballroom. I find Anderson in the middle of a staircase. Where are you going? Raising an eyebrow at me to get to that damn office. You can't possibly be thinking of taking all the guards out. Anderson says even if you somehow do, there's no saying the map is there. Just the fact that there are 5 guards outside one door leads me to think it's there. Look, Winters. He says as much as I would love to punch someone in the face given our situation. We need to think this through. I cross my arms across my chest and listening. If we take out the guards, he says they see our faces. They will report us just as they get the chance. Even with the map, both of our teams will be disqualified for compromising neutral territory. As much as I hate to admit it. HES right. We need a plan. A diversion. Let's have a look at the battleground. I walk past him to the upper floor. Anderson follows behind silently. We reach the top floor and peek in the hallway. Anderson points out 5 guards. 2 near the big double door. 2 across from them. 1 at the other end of the hallway, armed with rifles. Their wolves probably ready for action. We move away, out of earshot before he says, well, what do you suggest? We need a distraction. I don't see your partner anywhere. I narrow my eyes. His lip tug upwards, calm down. Winters. In saying she's usually more than ready for this type of thing. Keep your words clear when you talk to me. About her you might end up regretting talking in riddles. Can I agent extraordinaire, Marianne Noben? Heartfelt thanks for your unfailing patience, enthusiasm. I turn around the information about the guards in my head, assessing it from every angle. My mind takes each obstacle, searching potential solutions. Follow my lead. I meet Anderson's eyes across the hallway and nod. He slams down a vase on the granite floor. I see one of the guards move forward and spin towards the corridor I'm standing in. I cross the hallway and glance out of the other ending, where the solitary guard is standing. I can faintly make out the conversation Anderson is having with the guard, doing a surprisingly good imitation of a drunk guest. I grab the guard by his throat and yank him towards myself. Instantly, I hold him in headlock. He struggles for a moment, then his body goes limp. I let him down and grab his gun, hoping Anderson has managed to do the same. The first shot rings. Anderson's made his move. The next moment, gunshots ring in the air. Bullets ricochet everywhere, and in theory, the sounds should not reach the ground floor over the loud sounds of music. I take out the two guards near the door. Anderson takes out the other one across them. The smell of blood hangs heavy in the air. I pick up a stray bullet. Not silver. They should survive easily. Anderson and I pull down the handkerchiefs from our faces, the ones we lifted from a nearby room, and he tries to pull the door open. Locked. He throws his hands up. I look down at the rifle in his hands. We could certainly shoot the lock out, but that would leave too much to open. I don't want every other team to have access to the maps, so that is, if they are in here. Before either of us could think of a better solution, a familiar face comes in view. Tarks glances at the unconscious guards for a moment, then at the door. Didn't find the map. He asks. Anderson shakes his head. The door's locked. Where's Hazel? I told her to stay back at the party. You what? I glare at him, eyes narrowed. You wanted me to bring her here. He motions to our surrounding. I told you to keep an eye on her. Damn it. I shove him aside and start towards the stairs. Why are you reacting? Park says from behind me. I hear his and Anderson's footsteps behind me. What can possibly happen to her there? Anything. You don't know her like I do. I take a sharp turn towards the ballroom. Music bustling through the air. The smell of alcohol heavily mixed with perfumes makes it harder to find her scent. Look around. I say to the other two. Whoever finds her waits for the others at the entrance. I don't wait for an answer and start walking through the crowd. Goddess? She could be anywhere, and knowing her, it's probably in some kind of problem. My eyes scan the mass of bodies fruitlessly. I get out of the crowd and search the sidelines. Where are you? Almost about to turn away. I spotted ore at the farther ending of the ballroom. I try to open it and it gives away easily. A narrow hallway enters my vision and I sense it, then the faint trail of gardenia flowers and rain. Why the hell should she come here? My mind instantly conjures up the worst possibilities as I sprint through the hallway. Faint sounds reach my ear and I see a speck of light at the far end. When I come out, my eyes take in the detail of the place. A gilded room. High curtains of the windows. Sofas and showpiece are slitted across the marble floor, but in the major space of the room is taken up by a pool. The steaming water fogs the air. A laugh reaches my ears and my snaps in the direction of the sound. I find her sitting in a group of boys and girls, legs hanging in the water, a glass held loosely in her hand as she throws her head back and laughs again. I make my way towards her, relieved. To my agent extraordinaire, Mahlin Nilben, heartfelt thanks for your unfading patience, enthusiasm. To my agent extraordinaire, Mahlin Nilben, heartfelt thanks for your unfading patience, enthusiasm. How could she be here, without telling anyone, when the situation is so dire? Didn't she think how worried it'd be for her? But as I go closer, I realize how sloppy her movements are, how drawing her voice. Oh moon, not right now, hazy. Golden eyes lift to my face and a breathtaking smile greet me. I halt in my steps for a moment. Luke. Hazel waves at me animatedly. The three boys and two girls around her turn to look at me as well, their gazes ranging from confused to annoyed to lusty. Hazel stands up from her place, but before she could walk over to me, and quite possibly fall down due to her state, I reach her. She throws her arms around me. You're alive. I tell myself to keep in mind my anger, my annoyance, to tell her just how stupid it was to come here, and on top of that, getting drunk. But all that floats away, but just seeing that she's all right. Goddess, this girl makes me act strange, wrapping my arms around her. I straighten her slouched frame. Why wouldn't I be alive? She looks up at me with doe haze eyes. Eyebrows furrowed. Didn't you go on some dangerous mission? I was waiting for you. But you didn't come back. In the end, I had to get myself some happy juice. Come on. I say we're going back now. I expected her to retaliate, but Hazel surprised me by nodding. I shift my hold on her so my arm is if I hold her, and I hold her hand with my other. Alice, one of the girls says you should stay for a while. Won't introduce us to your friend. Hazel gasps. Tips ILY turning around to look at her. I almost forgot. This is Luke, my partner in crime. She says, Luke, these are the nice people who didn't let me get bored or worried. Clary, Emily, Cameron, Freddie and... what was it again? Oh, and Xander. That's all the introduction you'll give us. Emily say, eyeing me like a candy. The girl is lucky she's drunk, otherwise the look on my face would probably hurt. What else is your partner like? Sorry, Hazel says apologetically that information is confidential. She turns to me, aren't we going? We'd almost crossed the room when she stops, a look of realization on her face. My shoes. I look down at her feet, only now realizing she's not wearing her shoes. Hazel looks across the room before she points out for where she'd probably taken them off. You go. She tells me I'll just be back real quick. I'm coming with you. I'm not letting you out of my sight again, then don't bother me by saying hurry up. Hazel says putting on shoes is a concentrating task. I roll my eyes despite the upward tilt of my lips. Hazel promptly sits down in the sofa and starts putting her shoes on. Off, that's what I think this is. Get on, she mutters, yanking the shoe on her foot. What is wrong with you things? You were fitting so well a while ago. Maybe that has something to do with putting on the wrong one. To my agent extraordinaire, Madeleine Nilben, heartfelt thanks for your unfailing patience, enthusiasm. She huffs and flips her hair over her shoulder. I know which she goes in which foot. Maybe I just need to clear my head. She grabs a box of mint from a side table and tosses two in her mouth. Right. Now I can fix this. She again fails to distinguish between the left and right shoe. I pinch the bridge of my nose and let out a breath. We don't have time for this. I crouch down and take the shoes from her. Her skin is cold from sitting in the water. Hazel giggles as I slid the shoes on her feet. I look up at her, eyebrow raised. This is like Cinderella. She says, but you're better looking than the prince. Unbident. A thought hits my head. I should not be thinking about this. I should be thinking about how to open that door. I should be thinking that those guards might wake up and all of this would be for nothing, but still the words wretch themselves of my mouth. What am I like? That's confidential information. Why so? Somehow my hand finds its way towards hers, holding it gently. Lichens are naturally stronger than werewolves, and I can easily bruise a lichen with a bit of force. I always have to be careful while holding her. The barest bit of pressure would hurt her. It's like handling glass. Glass that might cut more than it breaks. I had to spend more than a month staying with you day and night to gather this information. Hazel says, well, it is about me. My voice almost soft. I have the right to know. If you put it that way. Hazel looks around, then ushers me closer, leaning down herself. Her face is inches from mine, featured schooled into perfect seriousness. You're eerily snappy, and bossy and demanding, she says. I can almost feel my facial muscles wanting to form a scowl, and you never look up from that damned map. And you can beat anyone up without second thought. You only ever think about this hunt and do anything to win, even if that means flirting with a witch. I really didn't think of myself as so dishonorable. But Hazel brushes her fingers across my cheek, her golden eyes following their movement. You're indifferent to me. You don't say what you don't mean. You don't do what you don't want to. You may act indifferent, but you care. In protecting me, respecting me, treating me like an equal. You show me that you care. She pulls her hand away. A little laugh escapes her. I stare in confusion, wondering why the sudden change in mood. I wonder how long it will last. She says with a shake of her head, my care for you. She nods. Why? People tend to back away and leave when they realize I have emotions other than happy or optimistic. She says you think I'm like those people. When she looks at me again, her smile is almost sad, almost longing. Darling, in the end they all leave. 39, the most lethal one, Elise. My good angle pats my cheek. My bad angle face palms herself. What are you telling him? She says, waving around her poker that stuff's personal. Shut up. My good angle rebukes her. Sometimes it's best to let the feels out, but in not paying attention to them. My attention is focused on Luke. He's staring at me like him the huntsman. Priceless. Something he never wants to lose. He brushes my hair away from my face and leans forward. For some reason, I stay still. Some kind of anticipation holding me in place. You'll be surprised by how stubborn I can be. To my agent extraordinaire, Madeleine Nilben, heartfelt thanks for your unfading patience, enthusiasm. That's an idiotic thing to be stubborn about. You make me act like an idiot. A breath of laughter leaves my mouth. I must be a witch. A cheer so close. If I move an inch, my lips would brush against his. How would it feel to let the walls crumble down? That you are. To my agent extraordinaire, Madeleine Nilben, heartfelt thanks for your unfading patience, enthusiasm. Luke says the most lethal one. I feel my eyes flutter shut. His warm breath on my face. Nothing happens. The next moment, Luke tugs me up and starts walking towards the hallways that leads to where does it lead to again. Oh well. Seems like we'll just have to find out. I look up at Luke, confused. Why does he look so tense? Why won't he look at me? Loud sounds reach me and I realize we're back in the club. Oh my moon. Gripping Luke's arm, that's my favorite song. I take a step towards the dance floor. The light's blinding. But the next moment, Luke steers me away. We don't have time for dancing. He says we need to go. Go where? I give him a look. Why did I ever think it's night? Oh thank moon. To Ethaness and Tyler's walk over to us. I was afraid you'd never find her. I roll my eyes now that every owl is here. Can anyone tell me what the hell is happening? The five of them ignore me. The twin Tylers turn to Luke and start talking about some unconscious guards the twins have locked in a room or something. Good. Luke says we'll check up on that lot just after we drop her to her room. I blink 50 times. We have another girl in our team. Why didn't anyone tell me? Why don't you meet her? Lou says, starting to walk. Taking me along. She's waiting in your room. I nod, eager to meet this new arrival. Why didn't I notice before? Have these idiots been treating her like a damsel in distress too? Oh heavens, is she actually a damsel in distress? We won't get along if she is. By the time we reach my room, Luke is practically dragging me. I don't mind it though. His arms feel nice around me, so warm and strong. This girl will get herself crushed. My bad angle mutters I think it's cute. My good angle says, go away you two. I mutter us. Twin Ethan us ask in sync, looking at twin Tylers. Not you four. I wave my hand dismissively. I'm talking to my angles. They're annoyed. Hey, my bad angle scowls just like Luke. Luke's at me on the bed. I feel a wave of sleepiness crash over me. So, where's the new girl? I look around the empty room. Is she in the bathroom? She'll be here shortly. Luke says to me, why don't you sleep while she's not here? I put my finger on my chin. I am CPC. Luke says if you're sleepy while meeting her, it'll be really rude. I nod. Luke is smart. She is probably right this one time. I see the twin Ethaness and Tyler's goes the door and out. Luke follows them. You idiot. My bad angle says they're fooling you. Leaving you behind. I bolt upright. The muddled words from Tyler and Luke's conversation come back to me. Hey. I march up to Luke. You bastards. You think you can just leave me here? Luke exchanges a look with Ethan and Tyler. I guess I scared away their twins. Calm down. Luke says you need to stay here. I won't. I stomp my foot. I am not some little girl. I can handle myself. Like you did at the party. He crosses his arms. I glare at him. You really don't want me to repeat that it's your fault I got the happy juice. Elise? You tears of love. Ethan puts his hands on my shoulders. It's dangerous for you to go. Please understand. Oh, shut up. I step away from him. You three need to swallow your egos and include me in this plan. The door bursts open. A man comes in swaying on his feet. Everyone except for me tenses. Goddess, these people need to relax. The man at the door opens his mouth. Blood comes out and drips from his chin. Then he falls down, face first on the floor, the hilt of a knife protruding from between his shoulder blades. Luke crouches down in front of him and pulls the knife out, blood dripping from the sharp blade. I stare wide-eyed at the corpse, faintly remembering who it is. Alpha Hugo. Elise. Yo, don't look. My eyes drift away from the corpse and towards Luke, towards the silhouette in the doorway. Behind you. Words retch their way out of my mouth. The next instant, Luke is tackling down the black-clad figure. His hand comes down and a sickening thud reaches my ears. A riot of sounds reaches me. The next moment, in being dragged out of the room, Luke's hand like a vice on my arm. Who was that? Ethan is saying Luke gives him a controlled glare. Someone trying to kill us. Where are we going now? The castle's top floor. Tyler turns to a staircase. That's where our maps and weapons are. The lights go out. I bump into Luke as he halts to a stop. The moonlight from the windows illuminates little patches of the granite floor. I see a black figure move through one of them. A scream rips its way out of my mouth. There's a whoosh through the air, followed by a groan and a dull thud. Luke grabs both my arms. I briefly wonder where his knife went, and opens a random door in the hallway. All of us shuffle in and I realize it's a broom's closet, barely big enough for us. I can hear them. Luke whispers 15, maybe more. Then pray they don't open this door. Ethan whispers I can't see anything in the dark. I'm almost squashed against the wall. The walls are so tight. Unbidden memories assault my head. To my agent extraordinaire, Madeline Nilbe, heartfelt thanks for your unfailing patience, enthusiasm. It asked Darky we're friends now. To my agent extraordinaire, Madeline Nilbe, heartfelt thanks for your unfailing patience, enthusiasm. The other girls with her giggled we're taking you to our secret headquarters right now. I nodded, my 13-year-old head swimming with new pride. The Beta's daughter was befriending me. I could imagine the smears and glares going away. I could imagine my mom being proud that I'm finally getting along. She always told me this pack is our home, and I have to treat it as such. Now close your eyes. Darky said promise you won't open them, so we know you're trustworthy. I nodded, determined to prove that I am trustworthy. They led me through the pack mansion and stopped. The next moment I was shoved away. My eyes flew open and I heard a door slamming shut. It was dark. So dark I cowled and make out my own hands. Doris. Hands held out. What is going on? Roars of laughter reached me. This is where you really belong. Little bitch. This isn't funny. I found a hand to hold in the doorway. Darky asked from outside we're putting you in a coffin. Soon they're going to bury you 6 feet under. I told myself she's lying. I told myself it couldn't be a coffin. But she was the Beta's daughter. She could do that. It would bury me alive. Open the door. I was screaming then. Pounding hard. I was desperately telling myself was a door. The walls were closing in on me. I couldn't breathe. The dark was overwhelming. Tears streamed down my face. But no one saw. No one heard my screams. The pack adults were off to a meeting. They couldn't hear me. Would it matter if they could? Those words settled like ice in my bones. I screamed anyways. I cried anyways. I pounded the door anyways. I could feel my head getting heavy, my eyes dropping, my heart pumping madly. I numbed the register falling down, and my last thought in my head was this is not my home. Hours later, I would wake up in the pack medical room, my mom by my side. No one to believe that Darky had locked me up. They thought I had somehow managed to lock myself. Laying in a hospital wing, my mother head laying on the mattress, her hand clutching mine. She believed me when I told her, but she couldn't do anything about it. I pretended to be asleep when she fell asleep crying. At night I knew this isn't the life I want. These aren't people I will live with. I will find the happiness and freedom I deserve. We deserve. And if I'm not handed that, I will take it by force. I can hear my own ragged breaths. I press a hand down my chest, trying to push out the air trapped in my lungs. I blink and blink and blink, I can't see anything. The dark will swallow me whole. A voice is saying, so faint, so far away, open the door. A whisper escapes my mouth, Elise, what? I push through the barriers, trying to reach the handle. I need to get out. They're going to bury me alive. My hands graze the cool metal, but before I could open it, something wraps around me and pulls me back. What are you doing? Let me out. I struggle against its hold. My voice raspy, I said, let me out. Someone hisses outward. This really isn't the time for this. What is wrong with her? A worried voice says, I can't see. I can't see. I can't see who it is. Then Im turned around. Something warm on my arms. Like hands. I'm not alone. Hands on my face. Warm breath on my skin. Elise? What's wrong? I know that voice. I rake my head to attach it to a face. An image. Luke. I breathe out. My hands reach out blindly and I hold onto him desperately. Luke, get me out of here. I can't. I hate the sharp sting behind my eyes. But it's too dark. No one will see. People never see. I can hear them coming. A voice hisses, don't make any sound. Luke, I contest, stay here. Who is this scared stranger speaking from my mouth? Please. They're right here. Someone frantically whisper yells. I open my mouth to say something, but Luke's voice reaches me first. Don't slap me for this. I can feel the words being breathed on my lips, at least not in front of them. Then something warm presses against my lips. Not a finger this time. The thoughts in my head evaporate like water on red-hot metal. The steam clouds my mind. For some reason, my eyes fall shut and I can't see anything, but the dark is not threatening this time. It's secretive. My mind shuts down and I can't think anything. I can only feel something warm and soft moving against my lips in a strange way. In a way that makes my heart beat with the speed of a bullet train. Makes my lungs forget how they work and my stomach fill with butterflies. And the oddest of it all, it makes my own lips move in a rhythm. I feel two arms wrap around me and lift me up. My hands skillfully find their way around something before they travel into something soft like hair. A growl rumbles through me. Strange. I'm not growling. Then I hear something, so quiet I don't know if it was meant for me to hear mine. For some reason, that word tugs at my madly beating heart. As if in agreement, someone coughs loudly. The pressure against my lips is gone. My eyes flutter open. Someone has opened the door to let the light in. My eyes meet dark blue ones looking up at me. I blink. How did you become so short? I ask Luke. I feel my feet touch the ground again and Luke's height magically go back to normal. I sway on my feet and hold on to him for support. Why do my legs feel like jelly? Eyebrows furrowed in confusion, did I black out and drop on my face? 'Cause I feel my lips tingling. Ethan doesn't answer me and keeps glaring at Luke. Tyler shifts on his feet, looking distinctly uncomfortable. Luke simply clears his throat before asking, are they gone? Ethan works his jaw hard. His poo teeth, yes. Quite a few minutes ago. I step away from Luke and stumble out of the small place. The lights are back on. I take a few deep breaths. But I already feel calmer. Maybe the strange blackout helped. Maybe they went away. A gruff voice cuts me off. Get them. Then we're running again. Luke suddenly halts to a stop. I register myself being given into Ethan's arms. Go, Luke says, I'll hold them back. Keep her safe. Luke, what are you? Trust me. Luke says, I need you to stay safe. I'll be back before you know it. Loud footsteps echo in the empty hallway. Luke's face gives away nothing since his words have slapped all the panic on mine. No, I'm shaking my head no. I'm not leaving you here. Luke turns to Ethan. Go. Don't turn back. With a nod, he swings me over his shoulder. Sorry. This isn't a time to argue. WHA let me down. I punch his back hard. He huffs a bit but keeps running. Let me go. You bastard. My head spins as he takes the stairs, my ribs aching as I struggle to slip from his hold. Then I'm suddenly put on my feet in front of a double door. How do we open this darn thing? Tyler rattles the handles. I shake my numbing head. Whatever this door leads to is safer than here. Luke said to stay safe. That bastard. When he comes back, I'm going to strangle him with my bare hands. But I have to be alive for that. I assess the lock, putting my eye on the keyhole. It can't be so hard. I need something like long needles. I say, what? Ethan says, his eyebrows raised. You can open it. I used to pick locks all the time. I say, but I don't have my lock kicks. You what? Have you gone deaf? To my agent extraordinaire, Madeleine Nilben. Heartfelt thanks for your unfailing patience, enthusiasm. I whirl around. Luke's coming up the stairs, his once white shirt now red with blood. His lip is bleeding. So is his brow. But if he can walk over to me so fast, he must be fine. In a single swift movement, he pulls a pin out of my hair, then the next. Will this do? Holding them for me. It'll have to. I unfold their bends, making them into clumsy, long metal picks. I get to work. My movement's not as precise as they should be. I can hear someone coming up the stairs. Hurry, Tyler says. I kick out in his direction without looking. The sudden OMPH tells me I hit him right. Brace yourselves. Luke says the footsteps get louder. Click. To be amazed by me. I shove the door open. Everyone hurries in. Luke bolts the door. Only moments later I hear people pounding on it. Scatter, Luke says, already moving towards a desk by the far wall. Look for the maps. Weapons. Anything useful. All of us spread across the heavily packed room, shuffling through boxes and cartons, shelves and showpieces. The pounding on the door becomes strategized. They're coming at it all at once. Nothing. Shoving aside the last box against the wall I was searching, a hangover partially upon me, I found something. Tyler says, HES holding up to belts. To revolvers in each of theirs holdings they're loaded. There's no map here. Ethan says, running a hand through his hair. The door moves violently, almost breaking off its hinges. I look down a window. In the pale moonlight, the earth is impossibly far. We just trapped ourselves. Luke, I look at him, fear knocking at my mind's door. Or maybe that's the hangover. Ethan and Tyler turn to look at him as well. But HES saying nothing, doing nothing as he stands over the desk, palms flat on the polished wooden top. The door rattles again. It won't last long. We're done, Tyler says, his shoulders slumping. Not yet, we're not. Luke says. He meets my eyes across the room. There's uncertainty in them, but also a promise. Turn off the lights. And we're enveloped by darkness again. 40 forget manners. The door bursts open. About 8 men shuffle inside. Rifles in their hands. Black masks on their faces. The open door lets light in the dark room. I feel the revolver in my hand, testing my grip. I wait until all of them are inside, moving from between the maze of heavy shells we made starting just after the door. I hold up the revolver and pull the trigger to give the signal. A loud rumble shakes the floor as all the shells collapse on the black-clad figures. Ethan and Tyler come out from over the heap of shells. Our ambush is groaning and struggling beneath the wood. Come on. Luke grabs my arm, racing down the hallways. We take a sharp turn towards the tower we were staying in. Luke bursts into his room. Ethan and Tyler turn towards their own. He yanks a bag out from under his bed, and then, without waiting for me, turn to my room. We need to get the hell out of here before they come back, Luke says, opening my closet and stuffing clothes in the bag. Wait. You knew. I ask wide-eyed as he slings it over his shoulder. I suspected. He says, and I trust my instinct. The exists must be locked. Ethan says, as he and Tyler come inside, I saw guards moving there when we went to the party. That won't be a problem. Luke says. He bolts the door of my room and strides towards the window. We're on the second floor. Looking down, we should be able to make it. Tyler goes first. Then Ethan. I bite my bottom lip hard, staring down at the ground hesitantly. Luke turns to me. Hazel, we have to go. He puts a hand on my shoulder and squeezes. I know. I mumble. My fingernails dig in my palms. Jump. I'll be right after you. What if I fall? Luke takes a breath, as if it's costing him to say Parks will catch you. I swallow thickly. What if he can't? A beat of silence passes between us. If I go first, Luke says, quietly, will you trust me to catch you? I turn to look at him. His dark, stormy gaze meets mine. Since when have I associated this face with trust? Since when have I started to believe the words spoken by this voice? I take a shaky breath. You will catch me. Luke keeps staring at me for a moment, his face impassive granite. He takes my hand in his and presses a kiss to my knuckles. I would never let you fall. To my agent extraordinaire, Madeline Nilban, heartfelt thanks for your unfading patience, enthusiasm. Someone pounds on the door. I jump away from Luke. He meets my eyes for a second, then leaps down from the window, landing neatly on his feet. Luke opens his arms for me. My heart jumps to my throat. The pounding on the door intensifies. I look back at it. I look back at Luke. Trust him. I close my eyes and sit on the windowsill. Just trust him. The door slams open. I jump. The wind lifts up my hand. Gravity sucks me down and I brace myself for the fall. For the agony that will follow. For the broken bones and bruises. Then, the wind stops. My hair falls back down. My arms reach out instinctively to hold on to something for support, but I refuse to open my eyes. Elise. A shiver goes down my spine. I told you I won't let you fall. To my agent extraordinaire, Madeline Nilban, heartfelt thanks for your unfailing patience, enthusiasm. I open my eyes to find Luke staring down at me. The intensity of his gaze makes my heart squirm in place. Let's get the hell out of here. The barest smile flickers across his face and he puts me to my feet, interlocking his fingers with mine. What now? I ask. We don't have the map. I think I know where to go. Ethan says follow me. We keep a fast pace. Even though I'm wearing heels, I can walk just fine. It's beyond me how they're so comfortable. Probably magic. My head starts pulsing with the hangover headache. My eyes dropping. My limbs telling me I have to sleep lest I pass out. How further do we have to go? I ask and repress a yawn. Just a few miles. Ethan glances at me. Are you all right? My back straightens. My face coming taut with focus and will I'm fine. I can feel Luke's eyes on me, but I refuse to let him know I'm tired is about to explode into bits. I won't let these higher-ups think I'm a weak little girl. We walk on and on. I can feel every single muscle in my body pulsing with strain. My jaw tightens as I push forward. I'm sure if I stop for a moment, my legs will shake. Come on. There's only what? A few miles to go. You can do this. Remember you will. Your determination. You're Hazel. A voice whispers in my ear. I yelp in surprise, jumping away from the source. My heel-clad feet stumble in the uneven earth and I fall directly in my behind. I turn to him with a death glare. What the hell? Luke. He gives me a composed look and crosses his arms. I was going to walk carefully from here onwards. I narrow my eyes. Thank you so much. Before I could get up on my own, he takes my arms and stands me up. I sway a little on my feet. Crap. They're all going to know I'm about to collapse. Did you hurt your ankle again? Luke says. Before I could answer, he lets out an irritated sigh. How many times do I need to tell you to be careful? We can't stop right now. He stares at me for a moment, a thoughtful expression on his face. Then he looks up and murmurs, I can't believe I'm doing this. He lets go and turns around, Crouching down, I stare at him, applauded, offering to carry me. A very familiar, hard and impatient voice says, "We'll do you the honors. Winters, if you really don't want to." Ethan says I would gladly help her. "No need," I say with a dismissive wave of my hand. "Luke made me fall, so he will have to face the consequences." I thank my stars that this dress is not tight and I'm wearing black leggings. Otherwise I'd have rather crawled than take a back ride. Our little crew starts walking again. I sigh in comfort. Sleep starts taking a harder toll on my senses. "I noticed what you did, Winters," I whisper, mindlessly lowering my head so my cheek rests against Luke's hair. He doesn't answer for a few moments. I content myself with the fact that he wouldn't. My eyes flutter shut. Sleep almost has me in its embrace when I hear him say good. Someone's shaking my shoulder gently. I grunt and snuggle deeper in the soft surface, shooing the hand away. "Get up." That annoying hand is now caressing my cheek. But I don't mind it, or you're not hungry. My eyes fly open. I see Luke standing over me. He pulls back his hand. "Now that you've mentioned food, maybe I can get up after all." I push myself up the mattress. "Wait." To my agent extraordinaire, Madeleine Nilban, heartfelt thanks for your unfailing Krishut's enthusiasm. I look around, only to realize we're in a room. Not a very good room. Mind you, the walls are cracked wood, the roof full of cobwebs, window panes so covered in dirt. They're almost grey. Where are we? Sitting up on the plain. Single bed. Park said information about a witch's house in the forest. Luke sits down beside me. It's abandoned for the hunt. They were heading here when they were ambushed, but stumbled upon that castle instead. I nod. No wonder this place looks like crap. It hasn't been cleaned in weeks. I turn my eyes to Luke again. What now? What about our maps? Parks and I are trying to recreate something at least 50% as accurate. He says it shouldn't take long. We can leave an hour ways from tomorrow. So I have a day to get my shit together. I fiddle with the sheets, embarrassed out of my mind. "So, I mumble thanks for not letting me get all of us killed." Luke cocks his head to a side. His brows pull together. "What?" My face heats up. Crap. He didn't even remember. Why did I have to say that? "You know," I shrug. "In the closet. We're enveloped by thick silence. Goddess, why did I have to get drunk? I'd have handled it if I was sober." I peek at Luke from under my lashes. He's staring straight at me. Finally. "You don't have to thank me. I can't quantize the relief that crashes over me." I grin at him, feeling my sleepiness and embarrassment lift completely. "You don't want me to apologize to you. You don't want me to thank you," I say merrily. "So you want me to completely forget my manners around you?" Luke stares at me for a moment longer than necessary. His eyes a shade darker. "Yes." Then he seems to realize what he just said and clears his throat. Luke abruptly stands up. Both of us ignore the tension in the room. "Get yourself something to eat from the back. Chained if you want to." Walking toward the door. He stops in the doorway, then looks over his shoulder. So one of his eyes meets mine. "Enthusiasm, in the closet," he says carefully. "Do you remember what happened?" I try to focus my thoughts. I remember my memories. I remember the panic. I remember Luke holding me, and then the door was open and the lights were back on. Not exactly. Eyebrows furrowed. I didn't pass out. Did I? Luke lets out a deep breath. His shoulders fall momentarily. "No. Nothing happened." Without another word, he goes out, closing the door behind. I changed out of the dress into a comfy shirt and shorts, suddenly glad that Clary had given me some of her clothes. My heart sinks at thought of her. Was Alpha Supreme's pack on target too? Or was it just the participants? Shaking those thoughts out of my head, I wash my face in a bowl of water in the bathroom. I'd have loved a shower, but well, this isn't a hotel, nor am I on a trip. I munch on crackers. Just finished eating a packet of nuts. As I go out of the room, the halls are equally dust-covered. Soon enough I reach what appears to be the living room. White sheets are bundled in a corner, probably lifted from the furniture. Tyler and Luke are huddled over a big sheet of paper. Moon knows where they got that from, murmuring and making details. Good morning. Ethan smiles at me. How are you feeling? Hungover. I smile back at him, but I live. I sit down by Luke's side, peering at what they'd made. I didn't get a lot of glimpses of the map, but this looks quite similar to it. Any idea who was trying to kill us all? I ask as I finish my breakfast. Luke pulls out a paper from the pocket of his jacket I received this early morning. I take it from him and unfold it to see elegant, curling writing. The Alpha Supreme apologizes for the discomfort faced at the second checkpoint. One of the competing teams had managed to contact their pack and had them try to ambush the other teams. The culprits had been disqualified and will receive their punishments. Wishing you the best. Theta Superior. Frederick Lockhart, how did you even receive this? I ask, raising an eyebrow. It po of Ed up in the air. Ethan says at least that's how I got mine. Magic. Tyler says. I roll my eyes. Just how many witches are they paying to arrange this hunt? The rest of the day goes by with me taking tea excessively since I found a tin of that in the kitchen, and I found my new passion of making tea. The other three spend their day being ambitious nerds. I cradle my 8th cup of tea in my hands and stand by a wide window, watching as the sun goes down. Only a quarter of this hunt left. And if we win, when we win, I'll be free of that moon-forsaken pack, far from everyone who's ever hurt me and Mom, and away from Carlos, Angelina and Morgan, away from Luke. That thought makes my heart twist. My hold on the cup tightens. I never thought I'd live to see the day when the thought of leaving Lou Quintas would upset me. But this is his fault. For being nice to me, caring about me, protecting me, listening to my rants and for giving me tingles by the barest touch. He's entirely at fault. Hey, I turned sideways, blinking out of my thoughts. Ethan smiles at me, hands in his pockets. Hi, I say. Almost sigh. Why did I want it to be Luke who would come to me right now? We're going our different ways tomorrow. I nod. I just wanted you to know. If you ever need help adjusting, you can call on me without hesitation. I stare at him wide-eyed. Really? Ethan nods seriously. A smile curls up my lips. Thank you. You're welcome, he says warmly, then hesitates. Are you all right though? You seemed pretty stressed yesterday. I take a sip of my tea, don't find it necessary to answer it for a moment. Then I looked up at him, my face dead serious. How many times? I ask slowly. Do I need to tell you that I'm not all right? His face goes slack for a moment. Then his features contort in worry. I can't help myself. I burst out laughing. I'm amazing. Remember, realization dawns to him, and he gives me an irritated look. I force myself to stop laughing, but the grin on my face doesn't fall. Seriously, I'm okay, I say with a chuckle. Do you? He hesitates again, looks at me with skeptical eyes. Do you remember what happened there? Enthusiasm in the closet. I furrow my brows. Why does everyone keep asking that? Not really, I say. Why do you ask? Is there something I should remember? Ethan keeps staring at me for a few moments. I feel an anxious turn in my stomach. Winter's kissed you. I almost dropped my cup. What? To distract you maybe. Ethan lets out a breath, or so I hope. But I'm not listening to him. I'm starting wide-eyed somewhere in space. Blurry memories trying to clear up in my head. I can almost feel my heart rate shoot up. That's fine, I tell myself. I was about to get all of us killed. Here to distract me somehow. It's just a kiss. Nothing to fuss about. But guilt coils like an iron fist around my heart. My first kiss. I'd been saving it for my mate, keeping it safe from the tons of lusty assholes that just seemed to be waiting for me to let my guard down. But somewhere behind that guilt there's an even worse thought. Better Luke than anyone else. Maybe I'm guilty, but I'm not remorseful. My stomach turns horribly. Why am I not remorseful? I know he did what he had to, but I should be embarrassed. To my agent extraordinaire, Madeleine Noble, Heartfelt thanks for your unfading patience, enthusiasm. Something other than this stupid guilt. I fail to form words. I have to go. I turn around, only to have someone hold my wrist. Come with me. My head whips back. I stare wide-eyed at Ethan. What? My voice high-pitched with shock. He looks back at me, a steely glint of determination in his eyes. Luke is getting overly fond of you. He says it's bound to cause problems for both of you. I snatch my wrist away from him. A spark of anger shoves aside the other emotions swirling in my head. And anger is better. Anger is better than sadness. Better than guilt. Better than regret. Because when anger comes, something is about to happen. This is between me and Luke. My voice dead of emotion. Stay out of it. Elise, you don't get it. Ethan says Luke isn't safe to be around. He's not stable. That spark of anger intensifies. Oh really? To enlighten me. Why so? Ethan opens his mouth to say something, closes it again and works his jaw hard. It's because he's cursed. I raised an eyebrow at him because he might turn into a beast and rip me into shreds. His eyes widen. I'm tempted to laugh. He really did think I didn't know that. Come on. I'm aware of the cruel note in my voice. He doesn't deserve it, but he has no say in my life. One full moon is already past. He thought I wouldn't know what I'm up against. So you do now, he says slowly, as if processing the words and still you. He really thinks I'm some little girl in need of protection. Protection from the man hellbent on keeping me safe. I turn around, ready to go and fight down the turmoil of emotions in my head when I feel myself being sharply turned around. The cup slips from my hand and crashes on the floor, shattering in 1,000 pieces. Why don't you understand? Ethan hisses, an unfamiliar anger in his voice. You're walking yourself into a death trap. I say slowly, calmly, let go of me. His hold on my arm tightens. I feel a dull sting on my skin. What is it about him that's so special to you? Why can't you see what he is? I grit my teeth together. Let go. He opens his mouth to spew out some crap again when someone rips him away from me. Luke's holding Ethan by the shirt front, eyes narrowed in a glare. Didn't I tell you to stay in your limits? Park, he growls lowly. Maybe you need a reminder of your own. Winters, Ethan bites out. My mind comes in sharp focus. The tension in the air is almost palpable. Ethan's immature behavior and my irritation aside, I really can't have them fighting. Not right now. Not because of me. Luke, I hold his arm, trying to pull it back. It's fine. Let's just go. Luke glares at Ethan, then loosens his grip enough for Ethan to shove himself free of it. Luke takes my hand in his and looks down at our interlocked hands. He freezes, his eyes glued down. I see the tension that seeps in his frame. His hold on my hands tightens just a bit, furrowing my brows. I look down. To my absolute horror, a bruise glares at me where Ethan had grabbed my arm, the consequence of angry lichens. A low growl reaches my ears. The promise of outraged destruction makes my hair stand. This is not good. Not at all.